Tottenham and Arsenal have waited 25 years to face each other again at Wembley.They made history by playing two momentous FA Cup semi-finals at the National Stadium in the early 1990s, and with one win apiece, supporters of a certain generation will view Saturday's Premier League clash as a long-overdue decider. It's hard to overestimate the importance of those two cup clashes in 1991 and 1993, the only time the North London rivals have met competitively at Wembley. Wembley had never staged an FA Cup semi-final before their first meeting in 1991, and it created huge controversy. Traditionalists warned it would open the floodgates, kill the tradition of saving Wembley for the final, and endanger the unique charm of the cup itself. A quarter of a century later, many of them will feel they've been proved right. What can't be denied, however, is those two occasions have gone down in legend, featuring names like Paul Gascoigne, Seaman, Gary Lineker, Ian Wright, Teddy Sheringham, Tony Adams, George Graham and Terry Venables. If this weekend's game generates half the atmosphere and excitement, fans and television viewers will be for a treat on Saturday lunchtime as Harry Kane and Mesut Ozil follow in the footsteps of past greats. The first game in 1991 defined an era.Two years after the Hillsborough tragedy had created the need for all-seater stadiums. Rebuilding work around the country meant capacities were temporarily reduced at many grounds. Though the other semi-final that year, Nottingham Forest v West Ham, took place at Villa Park, when Arsenal and Spurs were drawn out of the hat, it was decided to break with convention and hold the match under the Twin Towers so that thousands of extra fans could watch. It was a huge tie. Arsenal were on the way to becoming First Division champions for the second time in 3 seasons, whilst their bitter North London rivals boasted the two most glamorous players in the country, Gazza and Gary Lineker, who had become national heroes the year before at Italia 90. Arsenal had the better team, losing just once in the league all season, and their defensive organisation under manager George Graham was given a humorous tribute later on the film The Full Monty. Spurs only finished 10th in 1990-91, but had world-class match winners, most notably Gascoigne, who'd undergone a double hernia operation just 5 weeks previously. Gazza had played just once since his operation, and there were serious doubts about whether he was fit enough to influence the game. Instead, he played the best opening spell the famous old stadium had ever seen as Spurs raced into a 2-0 lead. As he lined up a free kick 30 yards from goal, commentator Barry Davies said a little skeptically, "Is he going to have a crack? He is, you know." The ball sped past Seaman like an exocet, meaning the England goalkeeper couldn't push it away, even though he got his hands on it. Arsenal defenders then chased Gazza's shadows twice in the build-up to Tottenham's second goal, Lineker finally converting after a poor touch inside the box from Gunners centre-forward Alan Smith. Smith, the country's leading scorer that season, did pull a goal back in the first half with a towering header, but the underdogs sealed their victory when Lineker accelerated past Adams and beat Seaman with a rising shot that again had too much power for the keeper. Venables and Gazza shared an emotional embrace at the final whistle and prepared to return to Wembley for the final. It was to be equally momentous, with Spurs winning the cup, but Gazza seriously injuring his knee with a dreadful tackle he made. He was never quite the same player again. Gazza and Lineker had gone by the time of the return semi 2 years later, and Doug Livermore and Ray Clements were in the dugout rather than Venables during a time of financial austerity at White Hart Lane. Arsenal had declined also, finishing 10th in the league, though Wright had been signed as a chief goal threat. The drip-drip effect of having Wembley for semi-finals saw the other game, Sheffield United vs Sheffield Wednesday, staged there. For Arsenal and Spurs, the '93 sequel wasn't as dramatic as the original, though Gunners fans enjoyed it more. Adams headed in Paul Merson's free kick 10 minutes from the end, and they even survived the late dismissal of Lee Dixon to reach the final. Like Spurs in 1991, they also ended up lifting the trophy, defeating Sheffield Wednesday 2-1 in a replay. The two Spurs-Arsenal previous meetings at Wembley contained big characters and memorable moments. Schoolboy's own stuff, as Davies said, as Gazza's thunderbolt hit the back of the net. Gascoigne later admitted, "I didn't know what to do with the free kick. But then Gary Mabbutt came up and said have a shot. On Saturday, Spurs will have home advantage, rather than Wembley being a neutral venue. But whether it's Harry Kane, Dele Alli, Mesut Ozil or Pierre-Emerick Aubameyang, the stage is set for a new hero.